So employees call my dad once, at work, and they talked about something, and then they thought they hung up, but the phone was there, and then they were like talking crap about me. They're like, yo, the boss's son doesn't know anything, he's not helping. He's like just a nuisance in the kitchen, And then I was like, oh, that hurts. But I started learning, and I started sort of proving myself I could do this. Starting from like the basic cold dishes and the burgers, I started moving on to like noodles. Spent like 12, 13-hour days in the stores. You start learning how to eat in 5 minutes, and then you don't eat until you get home. That was like no days off, no days off. I was born in Xi'an, which is in the Shanxi province, which is in northwestern China. My life pretty much revolved around school. The school is not the same as elementary school here. There you have to pay for the school, obviously, and then you go and you really take your studies really seriously because your parents are paying for it. And then you have to, bring your own food. So you have your own little bowl. You bring a bowl to school, and then there's a big pot in the morning at breakfast at school. Scoop out some soup. So when I first moved to the US, it wasn't to New York City. It was actually to a very small town with like 3,000 people in Midwest US, and I was probably one of like 2-3 Asian kids in my school. And every time basically there's anything involving language, like English classes, I would be pulled out of that class and be like sat down with this teacher and just, we do different stuff, like kiddie stuff. And then that felt like, weird for me as well.
But the thing is, you're always seen as like a foreign person. You're never seen as someone with the society. Like even I know some like Asian kids growing up in elementary school. They spoke only English. They didn't even speak Chinese to me. I didn't know how to speak Chinese, right? And I was really confused. I was like, why don't you speak Chinese to me? You know how to say it. And now I think I know it. I think they just didn't want to stand out. They want to assimilate a little more. They didn't want to, really be foreign. So we're at our original location of Xi'an Famous Foods. To Flushing, this is probably the first major, like, authentic food place in Flushing, because this place came about around 2005 when everyone was still trying to get all sorts of different food in Flushing, but then there was really no like affordable space for it back then. So they converted this place from like a clothing store, I believe, into a food court. It humbles us a little bit by showing our roots,
Coming to the US, not knowing English, but picking up English at a faster rate than your parents makes you made me the person that my family goes to for, to translate, to do anything pretty much. My father, he was in and out of kitchens. He was working. He was just making a living, really, and I didn't see him that often. For him, also, he had his own goals. He worked, but he also was more passionate about his own hometown food. He didn't really care for all the Americanized Chinese food in the restaurants I was working. He worked in so many different restaurants, like sushi restaurants and like takeout American restaurants, a lot of those, buffet restaurants. But he always wanted to do something on his own, something from our hometown, because there was nothing like it here. So to get that feel of being back home while you're eating the food, that was something that was just really pleasant for us. I built a website for Xi'an Famous Foods, and I made it all nice and English friendly. And everyone was shocked. It was like this hole in the wall in Flushing that is surrounded by other hole in the walls with no English, but they have a website with full English and full menu on there. I studied marketing, finance, and entrepreneurship without knowing what those things really are. But it's still something's still missing, and I think what it was experience. In 2008, my dad calls me and says, hey, there's this guy here. He seems to be famous. He has a camera crew with him and he wants to film our food. I was like, who is this guy? I don't know who he is. And he's like, oh, I'll take a picture of him. So he took out like a point and shoot and like flashed at him, like took a picture, and they got like pissed off because they were filming, right? And anyway, he sent a picture. I got the name, Anthony Bourdain. I helped put the word out. I was like, hey, on the website, like, he was here and he liked our food, which, he commented on, no reservations. And from that, more people knew of us. At that point, I was graduating college and, I see this momentum with the business, but it's not going anywhere yet. It's still in Flushing, still one store. And my father, he's skilled in many ways, but, I feel like his knowledge is limited in what he can do with a business, like in terms of scaling it. I always remember there was a place called St. Mark's in the East Village that was sort of a cool spot to hang out back when I was in high school. I didn't really hang out that much, but whenever, we go out in the city, that's where we hang out. And I was like, let's open up a store there. So that was sort of my first action that actually really impacted the company, was choosing the East Village location. So I found that location. I drove around, I found it, I negotiated, I chose a spot. I told my dad this would be good. He's like, I don't know anything about this area. I was like, it's gonna be good, trust me.
So we're here at our newly signed location on 54th Street, right across from MoMA. And as you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done. I've done this for all my locations pretty much ever since the St. Mark's location, which I would say is the first store that I really was hands-on about in terms of getting it set up. I mean, I picked the location, I sort of drew the layout for it, I ordered the equipment to be fitted into there. So that was really the first of many. I think it's never easy to be fully comfortable with expansion. We've always been at that point where it's a little uncomfortable to expand, but then we always manage to, go through with it and then to come out stronger from it. My father's all about working all the time. He's very much involved still with the culinary side of the business. He still keeps his recipes to himself. He definitely still grinds his own spice. He would go into the central kitchen with like little things of spice that he prepared in his little spice room, and he would just like close the door to the kitchen and then put the spices in. Nothing illegal, don't worry, no opium in here.
Working with my father, I mean, I think it's a blessing in disguise in a way. I mean, sometimes it's bad because we argue a lot. We argue all the time, and all our phone conversations are very heated, even if it's just like hello, it's like hello, So I think in the future, looking back on these years, I think it would be like, okay, we really spent a lot of quality time together. We made something together. It's always about like, in ancient times in China, it's about like father and son going to battle together, and that's what he always refers to. And that's the best team because you trust each other and you know each other. A lot of people come up to me, they're like, oh, you're the boss's son, right? They don't refer to me by my name. They don't refer to me as anything except the boss's son. Or like, oh, you're the Xiaolaoban, you're the little boss, right? It is what it is. I can't deny that I'm my father's son, but it's sort of encouragement and discouragement at the same time. It's discouragement in that I was like, ouch, that kind of hurts. But it's encouragement in that maybe I need to do more.
Hey NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.